तो सबसे पहले तो सॉरी एवरीबॉडी कि ट्यूसडे को पॉडकास्ट नहीं आया। मैं एक्चुअली एलर्जी से मर रहा था। मेरे अंदर सॉडस्ट और
ठाकुर एक हफ्ते से यही पड़ा है डूड। I can't believe we haven't recorded this podcast earlier.
मेरा टी शर्ट काला था, भी पेड़ हो गई।
Why is it?
इट्स द सेम टी शर्ट, डिफरेंट कलर ब्रो। सो सॉरी एंड सॉरी फॉर नॉट इन्फॉर्मिंग। मेरे को लगा मैंने किया था, फिर सब पैसे वगैरह से चालू हो गए कि हेलो बताया क्यों नहीं कि आज आ रहा नहीं, तो सॉरी। इसलिए एक दिन लेट आ रहा है, तो एंजॉय करते हैं।
एक दिन लेट, आई डोंट नो येट।
और डिपेंड करता है बाबा पे गाइस। ये तुम एपिसोड वेडनेसडे को देखोगे कि सैटरडे कि फ्राइडे, यू नो व्हेन यू वॉच इट। सो
अबे चूतियों, मैंने बोला था कि मैं दिल्ली में हूँ शूट पे।
Baba is out shooting for the last 1 week. He can't discuss this. So that's why we couldn't do it. Today he got some free time, so he's
Fuck off.
This is the most detail I've seen in Baba's background ever.
Yeah.
It looks like you're not in.
It's just a white wall. It's normally just a white wall.
It's discreet as fuck.
क्या मूड लाइट करके बाबा सिम कर रहे थे देखना, अभी अब उसके डिंपल दिखाई दे रहे हैं।
अरे मैं शेव किया है और कुछ नहीं।
तो फेस पे
तू डायरेक्टर देख रहा है क्या सेट डिजाइन किया पीछे?
उसने
क्या है सेट डिजाइन?
फुल फ्रेमिंग बैकग्राउंड
मिल्की वे दिख रहा है तेरे पीछे।
अबे दिल्ली है भोसड़ी है।
दिल्ली घुमाया ना पीछे।
दिख रही, वो बहुत बड़ी बात है।
Oh shit, the number of people from Delhi.
चल चालू करूँगा पॉडकास्ट। आओ दे तो बरोबर। Hello and welcome to another episode of the Internet Set. So, a show we take random listening videos, so facts, stats, and stories, and we talk about them. और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं to start off the episode, guys. तुम लोग ने परसों जब अपना Instagram social media feed खोला, तो कैसे लगा तुम्हें? क्योंकि that was the first picture I saw. Can you guess what picture I'm talking about?
Monkeypox in Delhi.
Kautuk in a shower.
Yes, you're right.
Monkeypox in shower.
Monkeypox in shower.
Which is possible, so please don't shower with anybody who has monkeypox. No, we're talking about obviously the Ranveer.
No, the wrong one. Ranveer.
I had the Alia slip. Ranveer का फोटो शूट। फर्स्ट रिएक्शन क्या लगा देख के? एफआईआर करने का मन किया क्या? एनीवेज, तो फोटो देख के मेरा फर्स्ट रिएक्शन था कि ब्रो क्या बॉडी बना है।
Oh really?
हाँ,
मेरी बॉडी ऐसी होती, मैं भी ऐसी पड़ा रहता।
You know what?
मैं पूरा दिन नंगा पड़ा रहता कारपेट पे। Like I
No,
would not.
my thing is, I have a question which I want to ask Aadar. Aadar, you remember that one photo shoot that you made us smell your dabba for 1 month,
yeah.
where you brought saltless food.
Context to this.
Yeah, so Aadar had to do a photo shoot.
Aadar was in London, where he was a hardcore workouter, and he was not a vegan workouter then. That time he was.
Yeah. Let me try to trace those photos. Let me find some photos. Let me see.
So
if I
Aadar,
can, like,
at
find
that
it on
point,
mail.
so at that point, Aadar has said that he needs to do a photo shoot. So for 1 month, Aadar has been training, going to the gym. ये body को और भी fine tune कर रहा है. और फिर वो then he started opening his dabba in the green room, and it would smell like, I don't know, like it was really a carcass because there was no salt.
Who did chicken 12 days old kept under a tree, and he would bring that for all the shows. He would open it. मतलब भाई कोई भी बॉडी ये स्मेल के लिए worth it नहीं। लेकिन
So how do you think Ranveer has got that? It's just chicken
But
broccoli. Chicken broccoli.
you're saying, one sec, Aadar, you're saying he also did no salt over before the photo shoot for 2 days?
Guarantee he's done it. Like look up Hugh Jackman, all these guys. They're all doing it like that.
Bro, देखो मालूम है जब वो शाहरुख ने दर्दे डिस्को बनाया ना,
Yeah.
it
That
became
was insane.
suddenly to see शाहरुख हाथ फैला के, लेकिन इधर कुछ 16 ऐप है उसके।
Bro,
So I remember watching whatever the making of or behind the scene, तो उसमें वो पूरा दिन पानी नहीं पिया आदमी।
hey, Varun, search बता. Your search
पूरा दिन नहीं होता है. Okay, no. So what happens is first you drink a shit ton of water, like 4 days before the shoot. 4 days before the shoot, and then 48 hours before or 24 hours before the shoot, you stop. So now because you've overdosed on water so much, your body is used to throwing out that excess water. Now, when you stop the water, the body doesn't realize that it's still like it expects that more water will keep coming, and that's when you lose all water retention.
एक second. I want to also talk about. So last year, Aadar has had his own Ranveer moment.
Oh yeah.
Premium league.
हाँ
Okay.
अरे
Where
तेरे
he
को
Yeah.
ऐसा करना चाहिए था.
walked out
Not for clothes
shirtless.
for comedy.
Okay, he walked out shirtless, and
Yeah.
okay, Aadar has not had water. I've met him
Yeah.
backstage, writing the show. I've met him backstage, and he's just busy.
जोक कैसे किया फिर?
Joke kiya, but I went overtime. I went like 20 seconds over,
But
6
1
seconds
second.
overtime.
दिमाग नहीं चल रहा था बराबर.
They know it's Aadar. You think Aadar has ever stuck to time, but Aadar has never stuck to time. Aadar has always overshot.
No, but coming back to this Ranveer photo shoot, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, inspired by a Burt Reynolds photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
तो पहले किया था.
Can I tell you something? Like when I first saw it, the first picture that I saw was the one where he's on, like he's holding his knees.
हाँ.
You know that one? And I swear to God, dude, my first thought was he's in trouble. Like he's a
Yeah, उसको जेल वेल में डाल दिया है.
yeah. I thought he was a prisoner of war somewhere. Like something has happened to him. Like jail में है क्या क्या हो
You
गया?
know, there was some meme going around. Somebody said, "Na new pictures from Abu Ghraib."
Yeah,
Okay.
genuinely, I was like, what?
No, but like there's that one picture where he's standing like that, semi David, but with underwear. He's finding me of Bikram yoga in that.
तो एक मीम देखा था मैंने which has gone viral. I don't know where it came from, but it's Ranveer as Ranveer dresses. तो एक साइड पे वो था और एक साइड पे नंगा फोटो था. तो एक साइड पे लिखा था the day salary gets credited next
Yeah,
last day of the month.
ये भी क्या था बहुत funny. When you buy 119 crore house after paying
अरे हाँ.
duty, that was damn funny. Khatri ka मैंने that was one of the first memes I saw. The second one I found damn funny is when he's lying down like that. It's like when you put the light on in the middle of the night, the lizard on the
cockroach.
You know, that's the beauty. Like उसने फोटो हो गया उधर से फैल के जो memes बने, they've been so hilarious, but at no point of time did I feel it was obscene.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anything.
The goods, right? Like वो सब छुपा के किया हुआ 50 करोड़ फोटो ऐसे ब्रो. हम लोग अभी पॉडकास्ट शुरू होने के पहले देख रहे थे.
अरे
क्या थे वो फोटो?
एक सेकंड ठाकुर, तू अब भी रोम जाके आया है.
हाँ, उधर तो ऐसे ही है डेविड.
उधर तो सब नंगे.
No, the thing about this is I don't even think at any point honestly was anybody surprised that Ranveer did the photo shoot. No.
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
by the way, if there is anybody who could have done it in Bollywood,
it is Ranveer.
it is Ranveer Singh.
you know something.
And
Like,
इतने साल से सब लोग उसका मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, ये अजीब कपड़े पहनता है, अजीब कपड़े पहनता है. तो अभी कपड़ा नहीं पहना है तो भी तुम लोगों को प्रॉब्लम है.
This happened again, Varun, where you disappeared on voice.
हाँ ठीक है, मैं हंस रहा हूँ लेकिन चलेगा.
तू कुछ बोल रहा था साथ में, that's why.
मैं बोला it's only Ranveer.
एग्जैक्ट सेम. अभी भी गया. फक.
मैं जब बोल रहा था बोल मत ना गाइस, एक थोड़ा टेक्निकल स्नैग हो रहा है.
Correct. Which I'm not editing now, so please continue.
Yeah.
If you can't hear my voice, it's because Baba mutes me every time I'm trying to talk.
That's not true. I've been trying to make sure Varun's voice gets heard in this podcast. Continue.
bro, but you know what else I feel? I feel like the only time in 2022 that people are talking about any magazine. Who the fuck has said I want to read a magazine in 2022?
Wow.
No, but एक पेपर मैगजीन के सब फोटोशूट्स पागल हो जाते हैं because here it's got whatever people saying it's amazing and a lot of people trolling and FIRs or whatever. On the other end of the spectrum, Hollywood में Kim Kardashian's pitch
That's the biggest.
paper broke the internet.
Yeah.
Right? It was called Break the Internet. Actually broke it because it was a very sexy photo shoot and it was bap. Like, have you ever read Paper Magazine? I've never read it.
I have, like, that's the thing. Hear
I
about
don't
it.
think there are many written articles in paper magazine. I don't know.
जो सवाल जवाब था ठीक ठाक था, whatever. Like he's like the last star and he's very jumpy, but he's full this, whatever. I mean, I didn't pay too much. I couldn't go beyond the photo.
What do you think came first? Do you think, hey, we want to do an interview, or कपड़े उतारेगा क्या?
Like अच्छा एक तो मेरे को सवाल भी पूछा ना. अरे नहीं यार छोड़ना तू.
अरे देखना है नंगा लेटा हो, पूछना. You think they asked the questions while he was lying on the carpet naked?
Do you think
What
that
are your ambitions? आपको आगे क्या करना है लाइफ में?
He was at home. They went, Ranveer, he asked me a few questions. Yeah, what was it? You're a big actor, big star now. Yes. Yeah, what is the process like? My process is, first has to feel very scared, but now I'm very confident. And the reporter,
The reporter is just like that.
yeah,
Sir, please.
no,
No, but also at no point in time did I think that the photo, honestly speaking, I don't think that the photo was indecent at all. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think there was anything indecent about the photo.
स्टाइलिश का बजट नहीं था बस.
तू करेगा
मेरे पास गट्स ही नहीं है करने में.
नो पर नहीं करेगा ना तू करेगा
Of course not.
हाँ
Meaning
करेगा
Guts ही-
मैंने किया है. मेरा तो पिक्चर में हाँ we can share the trailer.
मेरा
You can share the trailer of my French film. हाँ वहाँ पे you can see it. So at the end of the trailer. So we put the link down. Also मेरा शो एडिनब्रो में हो रहा है उसका लिंक नीचे डाल रहे हैं हम लोग. प्लीज 18 शो है. Please buy the damn tickets. This is the best plug. You have to do it in the middle. दे मेरे बाबा से सीखा है गांडू अपना खुद का बेच देता है टिकट.
But with
ऐसे रैंडमली कोई नहीं खरीदेगा बोले हाइट ये साला ऐसे रैंडमली बोल
नहीं
लेंगे
नहीं buy the tickets.
आदर तू नंगा रहेगा शो में.
नहीं
I will make every effort.
एक ऐसा
Sorry,
वाला
वरुण वापस बोल.
अगर तू अपना एक ऐसा वाला फोटो शूट भेज अगर तू भेजेगा तो लो
मैं
टिकट
ढूंढ रहा हूँ. I'm genuinely trying. I can't find that photo shoot which you guys keep making fun of. I can't find that shoot that I did, which was years ago.
What was that for?
It was just the headshots and things like that you do. Yeah.
हेडशॉट्स के लिए तेरे को एब्स क्यों चाहिए था?
हेडशॉट सर उसके लिए आप टी शर्ट क्यों निकाल रहे हैं अरे बहुत मेहनत की है हाँ सर
बस
फोटो फ्रेम में नहीं है ले लो
इतना ही आ रहा है सर. इधर तक ही आ रहा है. नहीं लेकिन करने का बस.
एक वाइड एंगल लगा दे सर
Okay. No, speaking of, like, there have been tons of these that have, and for some reason, invariably they have caused controversy, regardless, right?
no like which ones are you talking
Like, for example, I'm saying that Milind Soman Madhu Sapre ad for tough shoes, right? Really old.
context there
Which had nothing to do with shoes though. Was
listen,
it?
sorry
It
young
did.
I don't know
So Milind Soman and Madhu Sapre in the
Before Milind Soman was naked today.
He was also naked in the 90s with another supermodel called Madhu Sapre and the photo shoot they did was for tough right was for some shoe
Yeah.
brand
And also, just for context, I think Milind Soman, Madhu Sapre, one of the first like supermodel categories from India,
Yes.
right? Like supermodels.
correct so they're both standing sort of facing each other and the only thing that's covering their modesty is a python
Yeah, it's a snake. Yes.
Python.
And it was, and it even that caused a lot of like controversy for some reason. Like I don't know. वरुण आधा वापस नहीं सुना दे रहा तेरा अभी मैं क्या करूं?
इसको सुनने की जरूरत भी नहीं है
हाँ बोल.
So I mean, it really was. It was an ad where they were all obviously naked with a snake around them, and they were wearing tough shoes, and the ad was for tough shoes. But even that went ahead and caused like a furor for like say modesty, what is happening, etc., etc., etc.
किसने फाइल किया केस? पाइथन ने.
I don't think case file was at that point. I'm not certain.
There was outrage. I remember
Outrage.
I was very young, but like later on, you hear stories because these things go on, right? थोड़ा shelf life होता है 8, 10, 12 साल का क्या
95. It was 1995.
See, you sort
But उस टाइम पास टाइम के लिए लोग FIR फाइल नहीं करते थे. I think it was tougher to file an FIR back then.
no also like
No, the shoes were tough.
I would still understand if FIR was filed then. You know what I mean? Because as a society, we were still pretty close, right? Like it's not as open as it is right now. Things have not, like in
So-
2022 for that picture to cause a controversy is just
No, so Varun, I have a point. One second, I have a point on that. The point is, I think that we actually at that point had an entire movement and an entire space for art to experiment and allow
Yeah.
itself to flourish.
Yeah, dude.
Not at the cost of and there were obviously people were like, अच्छा ये कुछ ज्यादा ही आर्ट के नाम पे कुछ भी कर रहा है ये वो.
Dude,
But
just TV
there
देखना,
was-
TV stuff like Banegi Apni Baat and all these shows, the topics that they used to touch,
No, I'm
you
saying
can't
even
make
before-
shows like that anymore.
No, I'm saying you look at Nukkad and all. Nukkad was a show about drugs, right? Eventually, so
Yeah.
Sorry, Varun.
उसमें कौन नंगा था पूछ रहा हूँ.
So I'm just saying, like, I think that you had a lot of, like, there was an entire universe of, like, even Mahesh Bhatt doing movies like, Earth, or you look at Sham Benegal, and you look at that universe of cinema where there was no necessary nudity or whatever, but the topics and the stuff that you dealt with were pretty edgy and pretty out there. And I thought
Bobby had something, right? Bobby had a
no, Ram Teri
Bobby or
Ganga
Mera
Maili
Naam
also
Joker.
had. No, Ram
Yeah,
Teri
so it's
Ganga
like
Maili.
they were doing more, like, as far as cinema and film was concerned, as far as like nudity.
There was,
but there was more.
see, the thing is also, no, there was this philosophy that there's this set of essays called The Ways of Seeing by John Berger. Okay, where he talks, and it's an essay, and it's genuinely a great book on actually understanding that thought of beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or for that matter, saying that it's actually about nudity versus exposure. It is about art versus porn. It is about, it's so well articulated. It's called The Ways of Seeing. If you do get an opportunity, just read it. It's a thin, like, book. It's not complicated.
कितना पेज है?
ठाकुर तू छोड़ दे.
30, 36.
ठाकुर तू छोड़ दे. ठाकुर रहने दे. You watch the movie.
अरे iPad उसपे मिलेगा ना, उसपे Kindle पे होएगा.
Speaking of, हम लोग अभी जब भी रिसर्च कर रहे थे ना नंगे बॉलीवुड एक्टर्स के फोटोज, so you found so many of these, right? Like all throughout, like late 80s going into 90s, you had Jackie Shroff, who was a complete sex symbol, right? At that
icon.
Chest hair, like no six-pack ab, nothing, wearing those briefs,
Tight briefs.
not boxers, fucking briefs.
Yeah,
And I still remember mom saying that, oh shit, I have such a huge crush on Jackie Shroff. You know what I mean? Like, ask any of our mother's generation. He was there, and bro, he has done some crazy photo shoots. I saw one.
Not just him, the Akshay Kumar. I'm saying to the level of Shakti Kapoor and Ranjit also have done it.
No,
By
but
the way, Ranjit looks like he is going to like touch himself weirdly.
yeah, that's all of them.
Yeah.
That's all of them in one place.
Why does Aditya Pancholi look like he is looking at somebody else doing the same thing? He's like, hey, मैं भी आऊँ क्या?
मेरे को देखने का वो टोपी किसका है, लाइक जैकी श्रॉफ वो टोपी बाद में किसको देगा?
Other the thing is, अभी वो जैकी श्रॉफ का टोपी है.
अभी वो जैकी श्रॉफ का टोपी. सर आपने वो सर पे पहना? नहीं, मैंने सर पे नहीं पहना. सर आपने सर पे पहना.
Actually, अनिल कपूर का टोपी था. अरे टोपी आ रहा अभी तो रख ले चल.
No, but you know
Who
something.
wants to be a millionaire?
To just give a contrary point of view to the discussion we've just had, right? About like, was it more progressive back then, or is it more now?
More tolerant back then, right?
Yeah, tolerant. Like I would also argue, like, for example, all of Alt Balaji, or
Yeah.
and like just like, for example, even Instagram itself, right? When I saw Ranveer Singh's picture on Instagram, it was just one more part of the nudity that's already there on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
but one thing, these are all OTTs. Like, if you look at mainstream TV, it's regressed tremendously. OTT is a separate animal altogether. No, that's why they're trying to
photo shoot, magazine shoot, वो सब की बात कर रहे हैं. And what he is doing is no different from your explore page. Other, like if you open it right now, it is that similar picture with a quote about life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't happen to be Ranveer Singh, right? Like the entire free the nipple movement, for example, when you see, because any picture that you see right now, if any of the supermodels or whatever, like a Kendall Jenner or Kim Kardashian, if they're putting any picture in which a nipple would be seen, it's always covered with like a star or whatever. Even though the rest of the thing, they are pretty much nude. They're sunbathing, for example. They still
हम दो हमारे चार.
roar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no effort to hide any nipples here.
No. So, Kautuk, what was your contrarian point?
No, I mean, it was just that, like, there is always a bias to look at your time as being, or like romanticize the past as being better than whatever time you're living in right now. And a part of that also comes because of a selection bias. Like, for example, we see the 7 or 8 most controversial pictures because those are the listicles that we get today,
Correct.
right?
Mm.
In 10 years from now, if you gathered the 10 most controversial pictures of this age, 10 years from now, people will be like, what the fuck was going on then? Right. So you'll always have this thing. I don't think it's worse or better or anything in that sense, but like there will always be some amount of pushback when something like this happens, only because of the person and the scale at which this happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like-
It's a figure who is that big. That being said, if you remember, I think was it Stardust, Cineblades, Filmfare, one of these. Right? There's always that listicle that comes out with the craziest photo shoots that have happened.
Yeah.
There's one photo shoot where Karishma Kapoor is standing and Akshay Khanna has, Mankind WWE wrestler, wo ek low blow deta tha,
Yeah.
where he would come from between.
Oh yeah.
There's one picture like that.
Mankind and every boy in school.
Every boy in school. हाँ, low blow. वो वाला photo. It's such a weird picture. That was a cover photo of one of the magazine shoots. There was one with Juhi Chawla and Govinda, and they are covered in that shine.
in golden aluminum foil.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Again, supposed to be sexy. I still remember Mamta Kulkarni yaad hai, when she burst out. Uske magazine photo shoots would be very like forward. You know what I mean? Like for that time where it'll be covered with like a hat or something like that. You've seen these. It's not like suddenly कि ये 1804 है और कोई नंगा बैठा है मैगजीन के ऊपर.
So one other thing which was very interesting was this particular picture when it came out, right? The graph of the thing was very different. Where initially, so earlier when these photos used to come out, the whole thing used to be backlash. It used to be like, fuck these people, go away, this is not art, whatever. This particular picture, the initial, this thing was, holy shit, that's very cool. Or, wow, he did this. Of course he did this. All of those
Of
things.
course it was Ranveer Singh.
Yeah. Like all the memes.
I wish I had that body.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
100%. Bro, guts to hai hi nahi.
So after that wave, then came all the criticism, backlash, etc. Right? And it was also to kind of bring back the other thing. There will always be backlash, but it's things like these that even if you do not like it, right? It is at least something that you can talk about in some sense. Like you can discuss morality, art, beauty, etc., through these.
Starts a conversation.
Now,
Yeah.
thing that was interesting was Malika Sherawat came out with a thing, and she said that I was doing similar photo shoots back in the day, and people wrote me off as being hacky, sleazy.
So that hypocrisy always comes in that, if a girl is doing it, that's very, that's
sleazy
and it's too forward, you are disrespect. That's not how women supposed to behave, etc. Now, this started off as a very like, positive, wow, but then it eventually is going towards
the same thing
what women face from the get-go.
No, but what was Malika's point? Because she has an absolutely valid point.
No, her point was that the hypocrisy of like, when for example, I burst onto the scene and I did like a couple of bold scenes and a few photo shoots. People were like, this
is very slutty.
They made
all those slangs.
Yeah, like a photo shoot was a direct, sort of like a stain on her character.
It was a condemnation more than a. It was condemnation more than a work of art.
No, condom ka ad nahi tha wo. It was just a normal photo shoot.
Yeah, so I mean, like that was a like sort of an interesting thing about it.
Poonam Pandey, I saw somebody share a tweet saying she's reshared it saying you beat me at my own game.
Oh, well done, Poonam Pandey.
I like what Veerdas had said. Veerdas said, most of the men trolling or like hating on this picture is because that your girlfriend secretly really thinks that is hot. You know what I mean? You wish you had that body. Because your girlfriend has seen the picture and she's like, wow, dude, that's a fucking hot picture.
There's a number of people who must have just clicked save.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like, I'm saying, there are two things, right? One is if you had that body, would you do that photo shoot?
Of course.
First of all, no, dude, I still wouldn't have the guts to do it, bro. It takes guts. It takes a certain sense of
100% it takes guts, but
yeah.
I feel like I only wear clothes because I don't go to the gym enough.
100% also I feel too.
but like that, I just remember any other photo shoots, not necessarily Bollywood, but something else that's caused like such a big furore, whether
Dude,
not
it-
see, but it was
yeah.
it being amazing or
No, there was, I mean, I know a controversial picture which sparked a conversation. It had nothing to do with nudity or anything. It was Michael Jackson hanging that baby over the balcony in
Oh
Berlin.
God, yeah.
Yeah, like that, to me,
even that picture, the John and Yoko Ono wala photo also
yeah.
like a lot of backlash, right?
Yeah.
That तू ऐसा कैसे कर रहा है, ये कैसे सो के लिया है, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah. So it just, I mean, there are some of these pictures which are going to be like just stained in your memory that what it is, and just the conversation around like what kind of person is Michael Jackson, how is he dangling baby, or somebody in the John and Yoko Ono case saying how can you do this, and like there were so many of these that sort of
something
came over.
before this, before the magazine things, or like just there was one side thing that used to happen, a parallel industry of photo shoots, which was the Dabbu Ratnani calendar photo shoot.
Oh God, yeah.
Some of the most amazing photographs. Like I feel like Dabbu Ratnani's real
His calendar became a big thing.
his real talent was in convincing big stars
to do
to
dumb shit.
hold ridiculous props. सर अच्छा लगेगा?
क्यों? अरे मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, हाँ डब्बू ने बोला है, चलो ठीक है.
आप एक स्टील चेन, एक अम्ब्रेला और एक बॉलर हैट.
आप सूट में हो, हाँ? Action! अरे डब्बू.
Dabbu, wait, Dabbu, ready नहीं है? Dabbu.
I feel like the next guy who got passed down that talent is Mr. Viral Bhayani. I feel like
Oh God.
No,
उसका
but you one sec, you remember
Huh?
you remember the King of Good Times had Kingfisher calendar, which
Calendar.
was shot by
Oh,
Kasbekar,
yeah.
Atul Kasbekar,
Yeah.
right?
Which was
and
huge,
even
no?
that had gotten into controversy of saying ye kya hai and all of that, right? Like even that
Yeah.
became a thing where
मैं
it was
एडवर्टाइजिंग नहीं मालूम था किसी को.
like
yeah,
अरे ये दारू की कंपनी कैलेंडर क्यों भेज रही है? सर क्या आपको ड्राई डे मालूम पड़ सके? अरे वाह, क्या बात है.
अरे वाह, वाह,
ये
वाह.
दारू की कंपनी प्लेन क्यों उड़ा रही है और क्रिकेट टीम क्यों है?
ताकि दारू बेच सके प्लेन पे.
the subliminal advertising is working on you, and like every day you look at the calendar, you're like, "Hey, वापस beer पीने का मन?" अच्छा, बाबा. Okay, to what extent and to what degree does sex sell products? Like, meaning they're putting sex into everything, like, including like Binani cement and.
Yeah. I mean, there was that JK cement, right?
But like, how much?
Varun?
How much does it? You were saying the tagline.
अरे बिनानी सीमेंट के ऐड याद नहीं है क्या?
It was not Binani, it was JK cement.
JK
And it
cement.
was इसमें कुछ खास है, हमें विश्वास है इसमें कुछ खास है.
ऐड में बिल्डिंग नहीं दिखाई है, बीच है और एक ऑरेंज स्विमिंग कॉस्ट्यूम में लड़की बाहर आती है. नेवर फॉरगेट. उसको इतने उसके ऊपर जोक मारे क्या है? दे स्टॉप ट्राइंग. दे लाइक सर सीमेंट के ऐड के लिए क्या करे? वो लड़की वो बिकिनी में बाहर,
लड़की बिकिनी से निकल रही है.
So
लड़की की क्या?
no, so I mean honestly, Kautuk, there is
सैंड से सीमेंट बनती है.
बहुत है. इनफैक्ट मेरे को याद है कि मेरा
That'll be 5 crores. Okay, 5 crores to OG. क्या spelling है? OG.
Were you very involved in that?
Of course not. Are you mad?
तूने घोस्ट डायरेक्ट किया था क्या वो ऐड को?
नहीं, no chance. वो शॉर्ट मैं वो फ्रेम ही नहीं लेता. That it's too wide.
What's the frame?
It's too wide. It's too
It's
wide.
too wide. I mean, it's just you're unnecessary. Anyway, the
Yeah,
ad
makes
also
sense.
didn't work. for me.
If you are going to shoot it, then why would you want to go wide?
No, you try to copy that James Bond thing, right? Like where she walks out
Halle
of the
Berry
water.
coming out.
Not
Halle
Halle
Berry
Berry,
coming out
even
of the
before
water.
the Halle Berries. I'm saying you try to copy that, right? The problem was, anyway, you want me to get into it? I can. It's
Yeah,
just,
of course,
it
it's
didn't make sense.
interesting.
So I wouldn't frame it like that. So no, I didn't do it. But funnily enough, there is several pieces of work on sex in advertising or subliminal messaging tried to be done through sex and stuff like that, or not even just sex, the female gaze, right? Like using the female body for selling product.
The male
Sorry, the male
Male
gaze
gaze, one,
using female. What did I say? Sorry, female. Using the female body for the male. I mean, using the male gaze towards the female body to sell.
छोड़ दे बाबा, तू पता नहीं तू कैसे बेचता है अपना प्रोडक्ट.
जो भतीजा है वो ऐसे separate.
So and there's a ton of stuff, and if you try to read it, it's not just there in in work nowadays. It's been almost there right from the beginning, where the way a person drinks a bottle from, like the way a girl used to drink Coke and Pepsi, or the way you eat an ice cream or a choco cone, right? And so those things were subliminally made into that's how it's supposed to be consumed, right? So like there is absolutely no reason why you need a profile of someone drinking except to see branding. Right, but the point is, in the profile, it's never the brand. Wow, ideally, but the profile is never like this, right? The profile is always like this, with the throat going up and down, like the Adam's apple going up and down, like the swallowing action and all of that. And what you don't understand is, through time, because we've consumed the semiotic nature of pornography, or the semiotic nature of sensualizing and sexualizing that's happened in film, because you're watching a sex scene, or a sex scene is important to it, you've seen it and associated with it. So एक semiotic connection बन जाता है, where you eventually sort of just make that connection. And that's the problem, right? Like, it's been used consistently to not just sell product, but to get attention.
But does this work the other way around also? कि तू कोक वाला ये देख के बोल रहा है अरे pornography relation, but sometimes you watch porn and be like अरे तो कोक पी रहे हैं.
Coke.
I mean, pizza.
Pizza. All pizza ads are that. Every Domino's ad could just be man comes with pizza.
So no, there is tons of this. There's tons of stuff with even and sometimes it works in the reverse order as well, right? Like
how does it? Like, for example, the JK Cement, right? Like when it's laughable, like when the sex connection is laughable, right? Meaning like burger ad mein wo, like you're just showing
burger ad mein फिर भी तू mouth.
No, but you're just showing like naked women, right? In a burger ad, for example, right? It's a very weird, jammed in thing. Doesn't it hurt the brand? Doesn't it hurt? Like, doesn't it make any sense? Like, who's buying this?
Okay, so I'll tell you the response to that. The logical response to that, my assumption would be that on brand recall through that IPL season, I think it was during IPL that ad used to play a lot. Everyone remembered JK Cement just from.
We still remember.
Just from you've now reached a point where you thought it was Binani.
Maybe JK use karo.
Just kidding, Cement. Just kidding.
So you've a mental association. That's the justification. Saying that tere ko yaad hai na. If you want to be arrogant and cocky about it, the answer is
value, right?
It's not the shock value, right? It's whatever it is that you want to take it out. The other thing is, who is actually buying cement why are you doing B2C advertising for cement? You don't need B2C advertising for cement, right? You're not, I mean,
but
you're
it's
not
just brand building. No, I'm guessing it's brand building. Okay, when you are,
it's also about getting me as a consumer or a person who is. So I am asking the mason who's working or redoing my house, or the contractor who's redoing my house, saying to JK Cement lege or whatever, right? Or the other way around. Or the other way around.
Involved हो रहे हो सर?
No.
देखो ad में जो दिखाया है वो representational purpose होता है.
इससे मेरे को एक स्विमिंग पूल बनाने का है. स्विमिंग पूल बनाने का पूरे घर के अंदर मेरे को एक स्विमिंग पूल चाहिए.
No, so the other way also is that when it's almost like advertising also ends up giving you a lot of terms to just so that you can negotiate, right? So that you can have a negotiation, right? Aadar, let me finish my point. I'm saying so that you can have, like, for example, none of us know what DTSI is or what MPFI engines are. But when you go to a dealer and he'll tell you कि sir इसमें MPFI है या ma'am इसमें MPFI है, you've heard of MPFI and you're like, हाँ, something is there. Similarly, if you asked the guy and he said तू कौन सा सीमेंट यूज कर रहा है, he'll be like JK cement. You're like, oh okay, JK cement. So so there is a, so as a result, I think that the justification is either you have the justification is तेरे को याद है, right? Like for whatever, for all events and effects and purposes. So
what happened to the jingle, like the like Amaron battery, last long, really long, ting tong, that went away. It's gone.
No,
it's no longer
still,
there's no.
It's still there. It's still there. There's I'll tell you the practical reason why it's not there anymore. There are
doesn't
two
last.
or three practical reasons. No, 2 or 3 practical reasons. 2 or
But
3
एक था पहले,
practical reasons.
एक होता था, one was this and the other thing was जो भी ad आता था उसके ad के अंदर जो भी दिख रहा है तुमको वो product के साथ free मिलता है. Like अगर JK Cement लोगे तो तुमको yellow bikini free मिलेगा साथ में. Like there used to be a recall where whatever you saw in the ad you get along with the main product.
My favorite offer ad ever of all time is not ये रही Pepsi era glass. It is VIP चड्डी पे गड्डी offer. It was the shit because तू scratch काटता VIP चड्डी पे और तू scratch करे तेरे को गाड़ी मिल सकती है.
Yes, how Chaddi had scratch card. ऐसा कर रहा है. अरे सर उधर scratch नहीं, वो डिब्बे अरे वो तो ठीक है, वो तो किया, उस पे नहीं मिला, वो मैं गाड़ी के लिए कर रहा हूँ भाई.
वो मैं गार्ड के लिए कर रहा हूँ.
But you see how it's mixed the two. The idea of last long, really long dinners, the tagline and the free product and chaddi pe gaddi. This like the beautiful marriage.
Yeah. So no, the reason why it's happened is because one is a lot of ads get sent on to either YouTube or onto Instagram, etc. And they all need to be therefore mute friendly. तो jingle में ही तेरा सब messaging है तो तू क्या ही उखाड़े. And the other reason why is jingles take, as a musician you should know, jingles take time. Like you need time to sing. You can't. So you can't just like, even for it to become catchy or repetitive or whatever, you'll need those 10-12 seconds. अब तू jingle बना ही नहीं सकता उसकी वजह से. So it's not like that.
Aam Sakita Likita, Amit Trivedi as outer. Aam Sakita Likita was the last one.
Likita is that pure subliminal sexual.
Sakita Likita, वो Katrina के mango.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen somebody eat mango like that.
You know,
I love mango. And I love mango.
I love mango.
मैं सिर्फ
गिर के ऐसा.
और मैं आज तक, मैं 40 साल से आम खा रहा है, एक भी आम का एक ड्रॉपलेट मेरे मुंह पे कभी नहीं गिरा.
क्योंकि वो आम का ड्रॉपलेट
ऐसा पूरा सब जगह गंदा.
नहीं. So yeah. So no, I mean,
they should do one ad. If someone's watching, make Katrina Kaif eat a mango the way normal Indians eat a mango. That'll be a genuine ad.
Yeah, but Katrina has to agree contractually to want
just
to eat
eating a mango the way any other. Katrina, आप खुद का आम खाओ.
It wasn't the ad for the fruit.
Yeah, it was an ad for Maza.
Maza.
Yeah, but the idea is that ratatouille idea, right? It'll take you back to eating the way you actually eat It's not this weird sexualized arm eating.
The thing that Baba was saying about sex and advertisements, there's another thing that happened in screenwriting. And the biggest sort of like example of it was Game of Thrones, right? Which was sexposition.
Oh, that was insane.
Right? So
that was so smart.
I mean,
it was fucking smart.
They got around it, right? Like, so they were like, कि बहुत exposition है और exposition बहुत boring है. वो क्या एक चीज है? You know, so you know the weird thing is, so those clips, right? They get taken out of context and put up on site. So there are random people who do random exposition.
And they always paid his debt. अरे मेरे को sex scene में देखा अच्छा.
And the thing about those people is they just know the worst parts about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I feel it's also like it could have gone the other way, right? Because you're putting hardcore sexy.
You're forgetting the information.
Information
Yeah.
ऐसे देख रहा हूँ
ये क्या हुआ, मैं ब्लैंक आउट हो गया था ये सेक्शन में, ये क्या, ये ऐसा यहाँ पे कैसे पहुंच गया?
एक मिनट Varun, no one can hear you because Aadar is talking.
अरे अरे
So people are missing out on important dialogues. ठीक है, इन्होंने रेड वेडिंग क्यों हुआ? अरे वो सेक्स सीन में दिखाया था, तो सेक्स सीन में डायलॉग क्यों सुन रहा है? And then the gates will open at 8 o'clock. मेरे को आइडिया नहीं है.
I'm so glad I have not seen Game of Thrones, but okay.
Hey, Aadar,
क्या बात कर रहा है?
but he knows that.
We've discussed the reason why I have not seen it also.
Hey,
So-
Aadar, you've done a sex scene, no?
हाँ.
You've done a sex scene, no?
I have.
Yeah,
In
there's
Malabar
one,
Cadillac.
there's one I did for that Balaji thing,
That
which
one
is
of the-
on Pornhub. Somebody sent me a Pornhub link of that. I'm doing like stand-up around it. The fact that I ended up on Pornhub. That's when I left the country.
The question I wanted to ask you is how awkward is it to bear it all on
So
like
yeah, so like
एक
right
मिनट
now,
आदर
so
तू
what
फुल
we do
नंगा
is-
था क्या?
हाँ, मैं इसमें नहीं था, मैं फ्रेंच मूवी में नंगा था, वहां पे नंगा था, इसमें बालाजी वाला नहीं. I was almost
निकाल लिया कपड़ा तुमने. आज वो s'il vous plaît. What are you doing?
I can't believe Varun, you didn't say.
Your French lady. Sir,
s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît.
I can't believe Varun didn't say utar wu ve.
उतार.
पहने वो नहीं पहने वो.
अरे क्योंकि अभी फ्रांस से आया ना, उसके पास है थोड़ा बहुत वोकैबुलरी फिलहाल.
oh shit. No, but how weird is it to do it in front of a
No. It's so the thing is, nowadays, at least here, the way we are doing the acting training and stuff, there is a person who it's called the intimacy coordinator.
Intimacy
There's
director.
actually somebody, the intimacy coordinator. They call it the coordinator because the
गहराइयाँ
person is
पे
choreographing.
गहराइयाँ पे intimacy director था, literally.
Yeah.
Like on
No, but
गहराई.
that's the job. You're essentially directing. You're taking over from the director at that point because you're choreographing, and because at यहाँ पे क्या है, you don't call it director because the director is a sacred
term.
name. So you don't just add director in front of everything.
Why you say
It's intimacy. Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
director of photo?
Yeah. Sound director, art director. You don't just put director in front of shit. Like on a set, the director is only one. So that's why intimacy coordinator or the fight coordinator. So usually the fight coordinator and the intimacy coordinator is the same person because you don't realize, because that's the amount of physical touch is involved in both. If you're doing combat and you're doing intimacy scenes, it's the same amount of physical permissions and touching is involved in both. And understanding that this is okay for you to do, this is not, it's okay for you to ask for an intimacy coordinator on set. Even when we were shooting it in India, it was like you usually clear out the whole set. और हम लोग का, and this is a fun thing, the stupid thing that had happened. It was the director, the DOP who was a woman, which was great because they purposely took a female DOP, and the focus puller. And it's the two actors, me and the girl. Now, every time we are finishing and the director wants to nail it in first shot because they don't want the girl to get uncomfortable. They're like, let's nail it in the first shot and get done with it. So, kar raha hai, and there's that moment where the focus puller was fucking up every time. The focus puller aisa khada hai. Oh, sorry, late ho gaya. Oh, sorry. At one point, the director turned to me like, "Tu chutiya main karu kya?" He got so angry. Like, तू या तो कर, नहीं तो मैं तेरे को निकाल रहा है सेट से.
I'm surprised at the sharpness of image in porn movies. उधर फिर भी ऊपर थोड़ा ऐसे porn movies में तो क्या चल रहा है? वो focus
वाइड फोकस.
मेहनत कर रहा है proper. But
Right
I was
focus.
saying about intimacy coordinator, I never had any. I just dance with the chicks
practice off screen.
and then I double shoot it.
So the other thing that, by the way, there is a Wikipedia page called Intimacy Coordinator. Okay. And one of the things it talks about is that it's a previously agreed to choreography.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
Any of these movies where they have sort of explicit sex scenes, right?
Yeah.
You will always, the actors will always get asked, like how you're asking Aadar, for example, you'll always ask, like, wasn't it? And they all had their own mechanisms, but the common thing that they all say is it is very robotic. It's not like
Yeah.
you're
Arey,
not
dude.
Oh,
and
one thing they say.
somebody you're not even
Sorry.
friends with. You know, or just became friends with, and now you have to be intimate, and you're also awkward. Everybody's awkward, like at that point. So this, and it's good that finally now you have intimacy,
Intimacy
so it doesn't
content.
look weird. You know, like it doesn't look awkward,
Mechanical.
It
mechanical.
doesn't look like
Yeah.
it looks like in Malabar Cadillac.
Yeah.
Pele.
Arey, Bata, what was it like to film a
No,
You
sex
were
we
making
didn't-
out with a car.
No. Arey, no. There's one scene which is fairly thing. It's in the movie. But the thing about it is we didn't have intimacy director and all super indie budget and all of that.
तो कौन कर रहा है?
So no, super like indie budget and stuff like that. And uh, one of the scenes is it's supposed to be fairly in the open. Okay, so we were shooting in Kasargod, which is near between Bangalore and Kerala. Okay.
What a place.
Kasargod.
Okay, so
That didn't help with the intimacy. I don't know.
so no, but it's absolutely true. Like, because in the middle of all of this, there's
No, the reason I was laughing was if someone just randomly told me the sentence, Baba had sex on screen in Kasargod, I would have laughed.
You would have looked at it on India forums, Masala forums.
करेक्ट सो नो सो द थिंग अबाउट इज तू कुछ कर नहीं सकता है क्योंकि एक बंदा लिटरली एक फ्लैग लेके तेरे 3 इंच ऊपर खड़ा है तो योर ही 3 इंच सो दैट द लाइट इज नॉट रिफ्लेक्टिंग ऑफ टू मच ये सब चल रहा है बीच में कोई चिल्ला रहा है बीच में कोई बोल रहा है ओके एक्शन अभी एक्शन के बीच में फोकस सॉरी साउंड नॉट रोलिंग सब के बीच में तू क्या करेगा So it really is so mechanical. And I'm telling you from my very limited acting experience. Like I have been behind the camera for a few, but from very limited acting experience, I'm telling you.
You know, like the reason I was asking was props to Ranveer Singh because dude, जब मैं पासपोर्ट का जो फोटोग्राफ रहता है ना वो तो मैं awkward होता हूँ. So
नहीं थोड़ा कम नहीं अभी साइड लग रहे हो
तो
Sir, chin down, chin up. That
Yep.
chin up is so irritating, dude.
अभी एक मिनट and you know there are times when I've not even moved much and he's like it's okay but I know I have
हाँ
like I look up so chin down और मैं chin down नहीं किया अभी हाँ I just have to say अभी and he's like हाँ yes
No, but it's a subconscious thing. He's told you chin down, so your chin is moved down by just a millimeter.
सबसे गंदा होता है जब एक बार मेरे को बोला था कि सर आपका बाल ठीक करो. I think Kautuk does a bit which I lost it because I relate to that Kautuk clicking a photo and Kautuk the guy tells him he told you a sentence and I lost it at that because that's happened to me.
He said I was sitting for the photograph and he told me this is verbatim. He says sir थोड़ा tight बैठो.
तो ऐसा
नहीं तो I clenched my ass.
तूने कोर को टाइट किया कोर को
मैं देखो थोड़ा टिकल हुआ
Then he asked me to get get my hair like just comb it. So there is always a comb at the photo studio.
because that comb has gone less here and more like public थोड़ा एक खुजली करके गया
No, it was,
मैंने देखा ही होते
it was made out of dandruff.
Oh God.
That's beautiful.
थोड़ा देखेगा तो एक उस पे चल भी रहा है ऐसे जू
अरे यार क्या गंदा है.
जैसे अभी
But-
वाला कारपेट कोई नहीं यूज कर रहा है रणवीर सिंह कारपेट
हाँ. But it's tough because you're like so I don't know if you've had this thing like when you have to kiss somebody on screen. The worst thing is the retake. Like if you have to kiss someone, it's like if it's done because you went in for it and both of you are like it's done. Like I think we got it. And then
Okay,
the
one
director
more.
goes, no, we screwed up. Yeah, we screwed up. There was a technical glitch. And I was like, oh, fuck. You know, there's that awkward. And there was this point where, okay, we were shooting this was in the French film. We were shooting the sex scene. And it's just so mechanical because, and also we were shooting the sex scene for comedy. So it's not normal sex. You're getting, it's a comedy sex scene. So it's all overly exaggerated sex. So it's like that's happening, and also, but still you got to be very cognizant of like it's so weird and non-sexy because her nipples are taped. Like there are tapes on her nipple, and
Yeah,
every time we
pasties.
are done with a take,
Pasties, no?
yeah, whatever. Like you put something, like it's just all this weird non-sexy thing that you're doing, and every time you finish your take, then you're like, okay, the costume person runs in, you're also like, oh, she doesn't get uncomfortable, so you're like trying to figure out how to like make a like wrap her around with a like a
I didn't get
bathrobe and shit.
Varun's joke. Varun, say.
Kya bola?
What about your penis? It's taped or you wearing chaddi?
There we go. Okay,
Can
so
you-
the penis is skin colored socks.
How it
So
is?
you get a sock.
Very visual person. Other, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I'm imagining
Yes. So you get a sock,
how-
and I have worn it. Yes, I have worn the sock and done the same.
No, there's tons of the but to answer how mechanical it can be, I'll try to do this without giving away any names or any hints.
Spoilers for Malabar Cadillac.
No, this is not Malabar Cadillac at all. Okay, so this is a big film shoot.
Between yours and yours. Please don't.
So this is so
Okay.
this is a big no. This has nothing to do with penile or genitalia. So this is a
Penile.
makeout scene.
साला एक अपना डिक्शनरी मार रहा है.
No, it's penis is only, I'm assuming. But anyway, so so this is a big star cast. Okay, this is a big shoot, and there's a kissing scene.
साथ.
Like, what's
No,
up?
Sir.
so this is a fairly big actor and actress. Okay, fairly big stars, and there was a makeout scene that was involved. Okay, but because of some complication, there was a lighting issue, right? So as in the director didn't want to focus light, etc. So light was coming from one direction, so one person's face was not getting as lit as the other person's face, etc., etc. So now when they when they were making out, right? So literally the screen is this person is
बाबा
making
दिखा
out,
ना, दिखा ना और दिखा
screen,
थोड़ा
this
properly.
person is making out like this, the other face is over here. Okay, just off camera. Okay, just off camera, literally अगर ये फ्रेम है तो यहाँ पे एक आदमी जो लाइटिंग असिस्टेंट है वो बल्ब लेके along with the face घूम रहा है as they are kissing. Okay, so as they are kissing, they are moving. So the head goes to the right, his light comes like this. Head goes to the left, his light comes like this. So I'm saying, इसके अंदर तू what is the intimacy? It's so mechanical because if you move too far, तेरा चेहरा जल जाएगा क्योंकि एक बल्ब है इधर तेरे पास. So
No, one thing I got from like the training was don't kiss the person like you would normally kiss in real life. Figure out a different way that is slightly uncomfortable or different for you, because that
Wait, but how do you, what do you mean? How, and okay,
there are different ways. You figure it out. Like it's like
but so why is that though?
because it detaches you from what you're doing, because ultimately if you're shooting it on like if you're shooting it or performing it on stage, you need a certain level of detachment from the scene itself in order to keep performing it over and over again if it is stage work, or for screen as well, because screen, the camera is doing most of the work for you, so you don't need that higher level of intimacy
I
because
also would
you're already
assume
shooting something that's so intimate.
Aadar, is it also because you don't want to, I don't know, like detach yourself
You're
as
right.
an actor and
You're
the
right.
person as well, right? So if Aadar kisses, I don't know, tongue first, then Aadar, the actor character that Aadar is playing should not go tongue first. I don't know. Like I'm saying, I'm assuming that detachment is also needed, right?
You're acting.
But how method do you have to be to alter your
You
sex?
can't just state. Are you mad? That's like
No,
What?
but that's what Aadar is talking about, detaching yourself.
that you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody will go tongue first and all. That becomes
No, what I'm
intruding somebody's like private space.
obviously.
2008 and Imran Hashmi has just gotten
Yeah. What is this? ये क्या है?
पहले एक्ट्रेस को तो आने दो, तुम क्या स्क्रिप्ट के साथ मेक आउट. Thank you. I love reading Murder 17.
So yeah, I mean, I would assume it is also to detach yourself as a person.
Yeah, it is. It does help because otherwise it gets really like, that's the whole point. How do you like a lot of this training involves like आधा उसका उड़ जाता है ठाकुर का सब.
ठाकुर ये कर रहा था. It looked like an alien kissing, dude. It looked like an alien coming to kiss.
Actually, you know what it looked like? It looked like a monkey.
No, it looked like Kevin Bacon in Invisible Man.
क्या यार, अच्छा खासा
Y'all couldn't even
जीत रहे.
Ashmi reading a script.
Who?
Imran Ashmi reading a script. That was. अभी जो
हाँ बता, वापस करके दिखा पूरा.
यही है. और मैं
क्या
गाना
वापस.
breakout करते वक्त.
Hey, but fucking that's
जुदा होके भी.
okay. Wait,
मुझ में कहीं बाकी because you're putting tongue first and tongue last. तो जुदा हो गई तो मुझ में कहीं बाकी.
oh shit. Okay.
हाँ चल आदर कर तू उतावला और वैसे भी मंकी फैक्ट बताने के लिए.
All right. So since we're talking about controversial photo shoots,
Please don't tell me a monkey has done a controversy.
there's a photo of a monkey on a carpet, and do you know most of the photographs of monkeys are in the nude.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
एक सेकंड लगा बोले ये कौन सा.
You're absolutely right.
All monkeys are always naked in photos. Okay, so this is a blog of a nature photographer that I found. It's called ISO500px.com. He's a very famous nature photographer, won a lot of awards. His name is Marcel van Oosten. He's Dutch, and
Van gave it away.
yeah, Van Oosten. So now he goes with his wife every year to this place in Japan where they photograph snow monkeys. They love to do that. Okay, and they go this year, and it's the hot springs. So the natural hot springs that are there in the Jigokundani. I might be pronouncing it right. Jigokundani. So it sounds like Tikujiniwadi, but it's not. So they go to the hot springs every year, and he photographs the monkeys there. There are monkeys who are bathing in the hot springs, and the thing is, all the photos that he had seen earlier, and it's a great blog, it's a nice little blog to read. He used to see that all the photos had flashes, so they used to use the flash, and the photos used to be kind of burnt out or there's no depth. So he started using the natural steam rising from it, and he started clicking photos in the way they were, and even if they were blurred, you couldn't see the monkey. And some of those photos won awards for the way he was doing them. So slowly, what started happening is, as the springs got popular, tourists aana shuru ho gaye, and tourists started ruining the natural, like getting the monkeys in the photo, like in the most natural place. And this guy sees one tourist go up to a monkey with their iPhone and keeps going closer to the monkey's face. Okay, ja raha hai, and at some point the woman dropped her phone. और monkey ने छीन लिया उससे phone. Like she lost her phone from him. Now everybody has lost their shit, and it's all like everybody laughing. अरे monkey ने phone ले लिया. But this guy immediately got his camera and his 50-foot lens out. It's like, this is, ये मेरे को National Geographic के front page पे लाएगा मेरे को ये photo, and started clicking away. And as opposed to going crazy, the monkey got so engrossed in the iPhone, and he managed to get this photo.
Oh, this is famous.
This is the iconic photo that he managed to get of the monkey with the iPhone.
That's like 99% of civilization.
Yeah.
I see there's some.
And so that's why that photo ended up like getting like a lot of awards for him and like nominations
How
for
many
like epic. How many FIR?
Monkey
FIR कुछ मिला नहीं.
नंगा मंकी फोटो ले रहा और ट्वीट कर रहा है. सही है
बाप.
और कुछ फोटोज दिखाना है किसी को?
आदर चलना.
तेरा दिखा जाते
मैं बहुत ढूंढा. It's on my old laptop. You know what? I'll try to find them because I don't mind sharing them.
अच्छा, Aadar बता दे where in Edinburgh and why in Edinburgh and what in Edinburgh.
Yes. I am performing at C venues in Edinburgh, and the play is called Dreamliner. We'll put the links down. There are 18 shows from the 4th of August till the 23rd of August. I'm going to be performing every night at 7:20. And on the 8th and 9th, me, Uruj, Azim, Sahil Shah, and Prashasti Singh are going to be performing stand-up at 9:50 at Pleasance venues. So those are only two shows, and those tickets are going to go really fast. But please, मेरा play भी देखने के लिए आओ. It's got some fun comedic moments as well as like a lot of drama and stuff. So it's really out there psychedelic kind of storytelling. And yeah, that's it.
Superb.
Super.
Okay, so on that note, that's it for this episode of the Internet Set. So, sorry for coming one day late. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please make
I
sure
don't know if it's one day late.
subscribe and share and comment. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Thursday. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see. Maybe fuck it. Depends on Baba. If he is free, then we'll. Because
ये बाबा के वजह से लेट हुआ actually. Varun is just taking the fall for Baba.
I'm not sick at all. Okay, chalo. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Salam ishq.